San Luis de la Paz, also known as the Chichimeca Nation, is a city located in the northeastern part of the state of Guanajuato in Mexico. Before the Spanish conquest, its territory was inhabited by indigenous Chichimecas, nomadic warriors who were never fully defeated by European intruders. Home to the first Jesuit mission in Mexico, under its administration, it became a prosperous mining, agricultural, and cattle-raising town. During the 18th and 19th centuries, San Luis de la Paz experienced significant growth. Many of the town's most iconic buildings and landmarks, including the Parroquia de San Luis Rey and the Casa de la Cultura, were constructed during this period. Its mining support services reached their glory during the Mineral de Pozos bonanza at the end of the 19th century. San Luis de la Paz was also a defensive town on the Spanish Silver Road, which linked the Zacatecas mines with Mexico City during the Spanish domination. The town was founded in 1552, on August 25th, the day of the King Saint Louis of France and the day of Saint Louis Rey de Francia, the patron saint of the community. The first half of the city's name, San Luis, derives from him, and the second, La Paz, from the historic agreement between the Otomi, who were Spaniard allies, and the native Chichimecas. In 1811, San Luis de la Paz was a prosperous town with 7,000 inhabitants. Before the start of the independence movement, the garrison of the square was made up of 2 companies of the Queen's Dragoons Regiment. The square suffered a lot during the first years of the revolt. Both royalists and independents had occupied it, waging various skirmishes in its vicinities, and despite this, the population remained standing. In 1814, the insurgent troops of General Francisco Javier Mina took San Luis de la Paz after 4 days of siege. All the royalist prisoners joined the insurgent ranks except for the commander of the plaza. In June of 1821, combat took place between the troops of the Trigarante army and the royalist forces between the Hacienda de la Sauceda and San Luis de la Paz. A brief combat that ended with the royalist capitulation and the cessation of the hostilities in the Bayo. In 1850, San Luis de la Paz had obtained its appointment as a town, in recognition of its efforts of the city council to combat the uprising of the Sierra Gorda, highlighting the Ludovicense cavalry of the state militias in the Battle of Puerto del Zacate, where they reinforced the federal troops under the command of José López Urraga and defeated the rebels of Colonel Eleuterio Quiroz. In this combat, the squadron commander of the Italian-Spanish origin, Mariano Gadea Gil y Briones, died, one of the most important citizens of San Luis de la Paz. In fact, his grave in the old section of San Luis de la Paz Municipal Cemetery is the oldest in the region and dates from 1850. In 1854, by the order of the President of the Republic, Antonio López de Santa Anna, the territories in the states of Querétaro, Guanajuato, and San Luis Potosi were expropriated to form the federal territory of Sierra Gorda, with its political and military capital in San Luis de la Paz. But the territory, due to the high cost required by the federal government for its maintenance, and due to almost a null mining production, was suppressed in 1857. returning the expropriated territories to the states of Querétaro, Guanajuato, and San Luis Potosi. With deep customs and traditions, San Luis de la Paz distinguishes itself by making an effort to preserve the cultural heritage of its ancestors. During the Toltequiri festival, you can find indigenous products designed by hand by the indigenous people, such as woolen items and pre-Columbian musical instruments, that are either made in San Luis de la Paz or the nearby town of Mineral de Pozos. 2 kilometers from the municipal seat is the Chichimeca Mission, the last of this ethnic group in Mexico that, despite globalization, makes an attempt to safeguard its language, Chichimeco Jonaz. During the first half of the 20th century, the town suffered from the instability of the Mexican Revolution and the Cristero War. In the 1970s and 1980s, the economy was revived by an agricultural boom. San Luis de la Paz is considered to be the most important agricultural and commercial area of the Sierra Gorda in the state of Guanajuato. Furthermore, it's also considered an ideal location to set up manufacturing firms. San Luis de la Paz is a fascinating town with a rich history and vibrant culture. From its colonial architecture to its lively festivals, the town offers a wide range of attractions for visitors of all ages and interests. And additionally, I also have videos on this channel of Mineral de Pozos, as well as an adventure that I got into with some locals down in San Jose de Turbe. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I have many more videos of this part of Mexico in the playlist that is linked in the description below this video. You'll also find a link to another playlist of when I bicycled through Mexico. That was part of a larger trip, bicycling through Latin America. I've also bicycled through Eastern Africa and Central and Eastern Europe, and I have playlists for all those countries that I've bicycled through available on this very same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. Alternatively, if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I've been and all the things that I got to see and do, I have that interactive map available over on my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. where you can click on the different locations and see all the blog posts and videos that I've made of those places. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures through Mexico and beyond, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.